Have you ever felt forgotten, betrayed, or felt like your dreams are too big to ever come true? Well, this is the story of a boy named Joseph, a boy who faced rejection, slavery, and prison, but who never lost faith. And because he held on to God, he went from a pit to a palace. Once upon a time in the land of Canaan, there lived a man named Jacob, who had 12 sons. But one of them was very special to him. His name was Joseph. Joseph was different. He was kind, wise, and full of dreams. Jacob loved him so much that he gave him a beautiful coat of many colors. It was bright, it was bold, and it made his brothers very jealous. To make things worse, Joseph had dreams. In one dream, he saw sheaves of grain bowing down to his sheaf. In another, the sun, moon, and stars bowed before him. His brothers didn't like that one bit. "Are you saying we'll bow down to you one day?" they mocked. But Joseph was just telling the truth. The dreams came from God. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers in the fields. But when they saw him coming, jealousy filled their hearts. "Here comes the dreamer," they sneered. They grabbed him, tore off his colorful coat, and threw him into a deep pit. Some wanted to kill him, but instead, they sold him to passing traders for 20 pieces of silver. Joseph was taken far away, to Egypt, a land he didn't know, where people spoke a language he didn't understand. His brothers lied to their father and showed him the torn coat, dipped in goat's blood. "A wild animal must have eaten him," they said. Jacob wept bitterly. He thought his beloved Joseph was gone forever. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to a man named Potiphar, a captain in Pharaoh's guard. Even though Joseph was far from home, he never stopped trusting God. He worked hard, and God's favor was with him. Potiphar noticed and made Joseph head of the entire household. But trouble came again. Potiphar's wife told a terrible lie about Joseph. Even though he was innocent, he was thrown into prison. Even in prison, Joseph didn't complain. He helped the other prisoners and stayed faithful to God. Soon, the prison warden put him in charge of the other inmates. One day, two men had dreams, Pharaoh's butler and baker. Joseph listened carefully and said, "Interpretations belong to God. Tell me your dreams." The butler dreamed of a vine with 3 branches that blossomed and gave grapes, which he squeezed into Pharaoh's cup. Joseph told him, "In 3 days you'll be restored." The baker dreamed of baskets on his head with bread for Pharaoh, but birds came and ate it. Joseph told him, "In 3 days you'll be executed." Both dreams came true. Joseph asked the butler, "Please remember me when you're free." But the butler forgot. 2 years later, Pharaoh had strange dreams. In one, 7 fat cows were eaten by 7 skinny cows. In another, 7 healthy heads of grain were swallowed by 7 thin, scorched ones. No one could explain them. Then the butler remembered Joseph. "There's a man in prison who can interpret dreams." Pharaoh called for Joseph immediately. Joseph stood before the king, clean and calm, and said, "I can't interpret dreams, but God can." Joseph explained, "The dreams mean 7 years of abundance are coming. followed by 7 years of famine. Store food during the good years, so you survive the bad. Pharaoh was amazed. Can we find anyone as wise as this man? He asked. He took off his royal ring, placed it on Joseph's finger, and made him prime minister of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself. Just like Joseph said, the land had 7 good years. Food was stored all across Egypt. Then the famine came, and it spread to other lands, including Canaan, where Joseph's family lived. Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to buy grain. When they arrived, they bowed before the powerful man in charge. They didn't recognize him, but it was Joseph. Joseph's heart ached. He remembered the dreams he had as a boy. He tested them to see if their hearts had changed. And when he saw their honesty, Joseph couldn't hold back the tears. He said, "I am Joseph, your brother." They were afraid, but Joseph comforted them. "Don't be afraid. You meant evil against me, but God used it for good, to save many lives." He forgave them. He sent for his father Jacob, and the whole family moved to Egypt, where they were safe and provided for. Joseph's life teaches us that even when everything seems to go wrong, God is still in control. Joseph faced betrayal, slavery, lies, and prison, but he never lost faith. And because he trusted God, he went from the pit to the palace. So when your dreams seem far away, or life feels unfair, remember Joseph. Hold on to God, because he is working all things together for your good. This is the story of Joseph, the dreamer who believed, the servant who was faithful, and the man God used to save a nation.